Hair loss. It's something that everybody talks about on a weight loss journey. And many of us struggle with what to do when we experience hair loss on a weight loss journey. Well, I cured my hair loss and I wanted to share with you exactly what I did. And I think that not only is it going to shock you, but you're not going to like what I have to say. If you're new here, hey, I'm Allie. I'm on a fantabulous weight loss quest, and hopefully you'll subscribe, come along for the ride, because I put out new videos every day. And today, I'm going to tell you all about what I did to cure my hair loss while on a weight loss journey. Now, there are two types of hair loss when it comes to being on a weight loss journey, and I want to make 100% clear that we don't have a way to really figure out which one you have. So, first and foremost, if you are taking tirzepatide, then you may experience hair loss because it is listed as a side effect. For many of those people where the hair loss is caused by the medication, they find that they start to lose a large amount of hair in the beginning of their journey when they really haven't lost that much weight, which in turn kind of leads us to believe, okay, it's because of the medication, it's not necessarily related to the weight loss. The second group of people are the ones that have lost a considerable amount of weight and are experiencing hair loss. There's also a third group, which gets thrown in here with us, which is your bariatric surgery crowd, right? And for many of them, it can be related to weight loss or it could be related to lack of nutrient absorption. Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, I'm not going to keep you here much longer. I'm going to tell you exactly what I did to cure my hair loss. Now, for those of you who may not have seen my previous hair loss videos, the short version is I knew that hair loss was a potential side effect of these medications, and so I decided to start tracking my hair loss. And I go in depth on how I did that in previous videos. I was very happy to hear that many other people were doing the same thing. Essentially, for those of us with longer hair, sorry, fellows with short hair, for those of us with longer hair, we were, showering and essentially putting the hair on the wall to then compare it for the next shower hair wash cycle. And then, right, you take them off and you throw them away. So, I was able to track from the beginning the process with my hair, and I noticed that I was losing quite a bit of hair. Now, this was alarming, but not unexpected. I had already decided that it didn't matter if I had huge bald spots or if I lost all my hair and had to shave my head and just wore wigs. I didn't care. I was going to stick with a GLP1 as long as it was a healthy option for me. So having some realistic expectations when you're starting out is really going to be important. Now, the other important key that I want you to keep in mind is you do not need to purchase 20 billion supplements because they don't work. It just breaks my heart every time I see influencers that are like, here, try this liquid vitamin, do these collagen things, do this patch, do these things, blah, blah, blah. There are very few things that actually work, and none of those gimmicky things are going to change what is happening with your hair. Your hair is in a cycle, right? It has various cycles to it. Your hair is growing, and then your hair is shedding, and then it is growing again, right? And it has kind of this life cycle. Once you start losing the hair noticeably, we are in the shedding phase. You can't just turn that off. So you need to understand that while there are things that you can do, it's not going to happen overnight. So what works? The two things that worked for me were incorporating a whole foods vitamin, and I have this linked down in the description box below. This one is specifically the women 40 plus. but it's a whole food vitamin. What does that mean? It means that all of the ingredients are coming from food. When you open this up, it smells like broccoli. That's how you know you've got a good whole food vitamin, right? Now, these are not super expensive. Again, I have it linked on Amazon, which is the best price that I found. But they're not cheap either. So if you are somebody who goes to Walmart and spends $5 on a multivitamin, then it's time to do an upgrade. The quality of your vitamin does make a difference. And we need to keep in mind, vitamins are not FDA approved. They can make all sorts of claims about what they can do and what they can't do, and no one is double checking them. So do not be fooled by garbage labeling that is, oh, you know, this is specifically for hair growth, blobbity blobbity. Yeah, no. They can say whatever they want to say because it's not regulated. And you don't even know that what's in the vitamin bottle is what you're getting. So if you are getting a cheap vitamin, I highly recommend that you upgrade to something that's higher quality. This company has been around for a gajillion years, and they do third-party testing, so it's legit. So now you've got your whole food vitamin, and you're like, okay, now what do I do? This is the part where I said at the beginning that you're probably not going to like what I have to say. You need to come out of a calorie deficit. I know. Everybody is like tires screeching, right? They're like, no, Allie, no, there has to be another way. There isn't. Your body is shedding hair, again, assuming that you're not in the smaller group that is caused by the medication. Your body is trying to tell you something. When your nutrients are low, when your calories are low, when your macros are out of whack, your body is going to start letting go of non-essential functions. And that includes hair. Now, the part that I don't understand is why we only lose the hair on our head. Like, why can't all of my arm hair just fall out? Or the hair on my legs? Or my pits? Like, why is it the hair that's on my head? If you know the answer to that, please drop down and tell me in the comments below. I think that if it was, everybody was losing their hair on their arms and legs, no one would be complaining about hair loss on a GLP1. So we're going to have to figure out what our maintenance calories are, right? So you can go to the tdeecalculator.net and you can put in all of your information. Do not include any exercise so that you can see what your baseline calories are. And then you can make adjustments from there. It's important to be at maintenance level calories and no longer in a calorie deficit, because being in a deficit, especially for a long period of time, is likely what's causing the lack of nutrients and causing the hair to fall out. Now, the amount of time that you need to be out of a calorie deficit is going to vary based off of the person. For me specifically, I did this kind of self-induced stall for roughly 4.5 weeks before my hair stopped falling out. And then once it stopped falling out, I went back into a calorie deficit and was able to continue to lose weight and be just fine. So it's really very challenging, right? Because that's a whole month that you're not losing weight. And I know that for many of us, weight loss is the whole point. And it can be incredibly frustrating to look at that scale every week and not see the number go down. But what I want to tell you is, A, this is a great opportunity to get a feel for what maintenance on a GLP-1 is going to be like. So this gives you a little bit of a taste of what it's like to reach your goal weight and to be on maintenance level calories. So that's good, right? That sets you up for success in the future. Secondly, this is a really good opportunity to focus on things other than your calories, right? So you may want to focus on weight training. You may want to focus on, if you're trying to regrow your hair, you may want to go see a dermatologist and get on minoxidil or, any other of the prescription hair loss meds, right? Because those actually work. You have some options. And essentially what you're going to be doing is focusing on something other than weight loss for that time. So what did I do once I was done with the 4.5 weeks? Well, once I had consistency where the hair was not coming out anymore for at least a week, I was like, okay, let's drop down the calories, but let's do it a little bit at a time. And you want to make sure that, again, you're doing your daily vitamin, right? Set a reminder, whatever you need to do to make sure to do that. And then also you really need to be looking at your nutrition and make sure that you are prioritizing protein, prioritizing fiber, and that you have a variety of foods. I know that it can be incredibly easy to fall into this routine of eating the same things all the time. And especially if you are someone on a GLP-1 who gets the ick, right? Or, there are just things that you can't eat anymore because you don't like them. It can be challenging to branch out and try to find some new things, or even go back to those things to see, okay, I got the ick from eggs and I couldn't eat them, but it's been a couple of months. Can I go back and try them and see if I can eat them now? It's important to make that a priority, right? So that when you're coming out of your calorie deficit, you have a variety of fruits, vegetables, proteins, so that you can help your body keep your hair. I cannot say this enough. Please do not purchase all of the gimmicky stuff. Please do not spend tons of money on collagen and things like that, whether it's topical or it's, a powder form. You are wasting your money. And if you take the time to do the research, you will find why you're wasting your money. Where you want to spend your money is going to a dermatologist, having them evaluate your hair loss and look into a prescription medication, right? Like minoxidil or something like that. Over-the-counter minoxidil does work. Ladies, if you want to not be overcharged for minoxidil, you're going to want to purchase the men's version, right? Exact same medication, but the women's version is more expensive. Don't get me started. And you really want to make sure that you've got your nutrition dialed in. So when you're seeing the dermatologist, you may also want to see a nutritionist or a dietitian. They can give you a lot of really great ideas to kind of up your game as far as the food that you're consuming. I hope that this was really helpful for you, and I hope that for many of you, it will keep you from wasting money on a ton of products to regrow your hair that don't work. Sadly, we live in a world where influencers are just, grabbing up products left and right and claiming that they do all these magical things when they don't. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, check out all the links in the description box below, where I've got this and many other things linked for you to help you on your GLP-1 journey. If you are new to a GLP-1, make sure you go check out my newbies playlist. If you haven't been to one of my lives, go watch the lives playlist. We have a lot of fun. And as always, be kind, rewind.